Former WCW President Eric Bischoff clarifies his stance on Tony Khan, saying that the AEW president is not a fraud when discussing Khan's inability, in his opinion, to produce AEW television. The Rock once again says he's made professional wrestling popular with his recent run in WWE. Jake Roberts announced he has re-signed with All Elite Wrestling. An update on Killer Kelly's status with TNA Wrestling after it was reported earlier today that she has exited the company. Kenny Omega says that 5-star matches should not be handed out like candy, and a young New Japan star shockingly announces his retirement from professional wrestling. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about Tony Khan and Eric Bischoff. Of course, Eric Bischoff certainly has been very critical of Tony Khan and AEW in the past. Of course, AEW has really received their fair share of criticism since opening their doors back in 2019, especially though when it comes to recent years and recent memory. Now, former WCW executive producer and later president Eric Bischoff has been vocal about his opinions as well, and that's not stopping anytime soon. Now, Tony Khan has been very active on social media as well, hasn't he? And he responded to a critical tweet about his booking skills by stating that a show was sold out, countering the fans' claim. Now, Eric Bischoff later clarified that he had never called Tony Khan a fraud, but also criticized his understanding of television production and industry knowledge. Now, as I mentioned, Tony Khan has been known to engage with fans on social media, and that happened once again. One fan posted a video of Mercedes Moné's segment on AEW Dynamite, the show opening segment, with a critical caption that we can get on the screen right now. Let's show you these tweets in question, and it's actually exactly what happened. Now, the caption read, quote, "I've seen enough. I can book better than Tony Khan. This guy is effing terrible." Now, this was followed by another fan chiming in to say the following. You can see it right there, saying, quote, well, there's a lot of spare chairs not being used in the arena. That is when Tony Khan replied, saying, quote, "Actually, there were not, because the show was sold out." Khan used an animated GIF asking if the fan is effing stupid as well. Now, this is when Eric Bischoff was brought into things, as a fan replied to Tony Khan on Twitter saying the following. You can see it right there, saying, quote, "You're spending a lot of money and you can't crack 1 million viewers. You're a fraud. Eric Bischoff was right about you." Now, Eric Bischoff then saw that post and he had to set the record straight. In his reply, the former WCW president said that he has never called Tony Khan a fraud. In fact, he believes that Khan is a good person who has no freaking clue about producing television. Here's what he said, quotes, "For the record, I've never said Tony Khan was a fraud. My impression is that he's a good person. He doesn't have a freaking clue about producing television, and his knowledge of the industry is limited to what impressed him when he was 12, but that doesn't make him a fraud." Now, when it comes to Eric Bischoff and really his tenure in professional wrestling, specifically AEW, of course, Bischoff has made a couple of appearances on AEW TV in the past, very much in the past. Nevertheless, his last appearance was during the May 28, 2021 episode when he returned to Dynamite to host a party for the Inner Circle. He has been very critical about the way Tony Khan has operated AEW. Since then, Bischoff and Khan have also engaged in heated debates on social media. Khan has since said that these spicy tweets help engagement. Bischoff has gone on the record to say that he's grateful for every day he doesn't have to work with Tony Khan. In response to his sentiment about AEW, Eric Bischoff has also been accused of just wanting a job with Tony Khan's company. That narrative, though, Bischoff has refuted. So what do you make of the comments by Eric Bischoff in this instance? What do you make of Tony Khan's Twitter activity? Let me know your reaction, as always, in the comment section below. Now, speaking of social media activity, let's talk about The Rock, because he's been very active on social media recently, hasn't he, with his social media promos that many people have been enjoying. Now, WWE's final boss, The Rock, recently ruffled some feathers when he claimed that pro wrestling was cool again thanks to his presence. This was something that seemingly irked at least one WWE star. LA Knight recently fired back at that statement. However, befitting his current heel character, The Rock has not backed down one bit from his stance. In fact, he's now doubled down on it. Posting to Twitter, the Great One not only reiterated his earlier comments, but also made further claims on the impact his presence is currently having on WWE. According to The Rock, he has not only made wrestling cool, but also unpredictable, calling himself the most electric, disruptive, and hottest heel in 20 years. The final boss wrote, along with a message directed at Cody Rhodes, Mama Rhodes, and the Cody Crybabies. He said, quote, "The Rock has made pro wrestling cool and exciting again. The Rock has made pro wrestling unpredictable, and he's changed the game and raised the bar again. The Rock is the most electric, disruptive, distinctive, and hottest heel in professional wrestling has ever seen in the last 20 years. You're welcome. F off, crybabies. Mama Rhodes, The Rock has a very special bout being made just for you. Your tears, Cody's blood, my hands. I'll see you soon, Mama Rhodes. Final boss. Hashtag Brooklyn, hashtag Raw, Monday, April 1st. At WWE, at TKO Group." Now, one star, who's certainly no stranger to heel heat, is the Judgment Day's Dominic Mysterio. And while he decided against posting a worded response, a GIF would tell the full story. Dominic Mysterio posted the following on social media. You can see it right there. It's a famous GIF of a younger Rock rolling his eyes during a backstage WWE promo, seemingly being less than amused with The Rock blowing his own trumpet yet again on social media. What do you make of The Rock's social media promos? What do you make of his claims that he's made pro wrestling popular again? Was that The Rock, or was that just WWE in general? Let me know your thoughts as always in the comments section below. Now, Jake the Snake Roberts, WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts, he's sticking around in AEW. Now, Jake Roberts still remains a hot commodity in the world of professional wrestling, and the Snake slithered some major news about what he decided to do regarding his future with AEW. Now, as reported by SE Scoops, they can confirm the master of the DDT has inked a new contract with Tony Khan's All Elite Wrestling. Roberts has addressed the situation, and it's going to be addressed on the next episode of The Snake Pit. That's his podcast, which is yet to be released publicly. Roberts has told his co-host, Marcus D'Angelo, quote, "Well, folks, just to let you know, you're going to be looking at me on AEW for another year. That's right, they re-signed me, so that's great news. Looking forward to doing it." Roberts has notoriously been a creative mind on screen and behind the scenes in pro wrestling, and he revealed that he had a big pitch in mind to make to Khan for the upcoming year. He said, quote, "Crossing my fingers that wouldn't be something if we started the Snake Pit back up. Listen, I'd love to talk to Tony about that. I'm damn sure gonna pitch it." Now, much like Piper's Pit, the Snake Pit was Roberts' memorable talk show segment in WWE that featured major names such as Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, and Rowdy Roddy Piper himself, and many more. Roberts signed with AEW back in 2020, confronting Cody Rhodes and teasing further doom to come for the American Nightmare. He then became the manager for Lance Archer, who he has been paired with ever since on AEW television. In the same breath of breaking the AEW news, Jake Roberts also revealed that, like Chris Jericho, the Snake plans to set sail like a fellow legendary AEW colleague. He says, quote, "Everybody's been on a Jericho cruise, but have you been on the Jake the Snake Roberts cruise? That's on the way, so folks, get ready. We're going to take it out to the middle of the ocean and do what I do." So there's going to be a cruise coming as well in the future. Now, this is a really interesting story because there's quite conflicting information about this one. So we brought you earlier today a report that came from PW Insider and then was later confirmed by Fightful Select that Killer Kelly had left TNA Wrestling. Well, it looks like she's not going anywhere anytime soon, actually, because Fightful say they've now spoken to TNA sources this weekend who have cleared up miscommunication within the company and said that Killer Kelly has indeed not left TNA Wrestling. In fact, as of now, she's under contract until August of 2025. It's still got over a year left on her deal, and she was actually at the tapings this weekend. Now, the term "finished up" after TNA Sacrifice that was used was due to her taking some time off. She isn't factored into creative plans as of right now, but indeed, she is still with TNA Wrestling, so she's not going anywhere anytime soon. Now, Kenny Omega, he's known for having 5-star matches, but he's got his own opinions on the whole rating system in professional wrestling. Now, Kenny Omega may also be thinking the rating of matches may have jumped the shark and that a few factors should be considered when doing it. The former AEW World Champion was hanging out on his Twitch channel when the subject of match ratings came up. Omega laid out his own base version of how a bout should be graded. Quote, "Did it start a movement? Did it continue a movement? Was it something that became something that sort of etched in the annals of history for all time? I believe that's what an actual 5-star match should accomplish." Omega, as I mentioned, has had his fair share of 5-star matches, courtesy of Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer, yet Kenny Omega does think that stars shouldn't have been thrown around that liberally. He said, quote, "You shouldn't just hand them out like candy. It shouldn't be because the moves look good. It should be because the moves look like they hurt. It's a perfect blend of everything that you try to do and accomplish as a professional wrestler, and that's without exposing the trade secrets. Now, names like Omega, Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada prompted Meltzer to buck his own rating system by adding a 6 and 7 star to some matches, and the gimmick of star ratings continues to cause plenty of polarizing opinions online. A WWE Hall of Famer who happened to never receive a 5-star rating from Dave Meltzer is Kurt Angle, and in the past, Angle has playfully dismissed the process, but on the very same Twitch stream that Omega critiques the rating system, he also noted that the Olympic gold medalist was his all-time favorite wrestler. So what are your thoughts on star ratings and the like? Let me know your thoughts about that too. And finally, some surprising news that's come out today regarding the Bullet Club's Alex Coughlin, who will never compete again after announcing that his time in the ring has come to an abrupt end. On Twitter, he confirmed his retirement, adding that it sucks that he had to hang up his boots. He added that he still has some wrestling merchandise available for purchase. He said, quote, "Yeah, I'm retired and it sucks. Now leave me the F alone. Actually, I have some merch and gear to sell, so don't F off just yet." Now, Coughlin wrestled 197 matches over his career, according to stats from Cage Match. His final match took place on February 24 at Psycho Circus 21. At the event, he teamed with Sean Watcher to defeat QGTM. Now, Coughlin made his wrestling debut in April 2018 and entered the New Japan LA Dojo that same year. He trained under Katsuyori Shibata in a class that included Carl Fredericks and Clark Connors. Known as the Android for his strength-based style, Coughlin's time in New Japan would see him become part of the Bullet Club. At New Japan's Independence Day 2023 Night 1, he and Gabriel Kidd captured the Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships with a win over Bischoff. The pair held the gold until October 2023 when they lost to current champions Gorillas of Destiny. As part of his New Japan run, Coughlin competed a handful of times for Ring of Honor in 2019 as part of the War of the World shows. In 2023, he teamed with Shibata to defeat the Workhorsemen. He would later challenge Shibata for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship in a losing effort. Now, Coughlin is not the first wrestler to see their in-ring career cut short. Some wrestlers such as Saraya, Bryan Danielson, and Adam Copeland were all forced to retire due to injuries, only to receive second chances. All three are now part of AEW. Others have been not so fortunate. Jason Jordan's last match took place in early 2018, and he retired due to injuries. The former tag team champion has since made a name for himself as a WWE producer. Tyson Kidd can also be found backstage as a producer after his career was ended in 2015 due to a botched muscle buster in a dark match with Samoa Joe. So we wish Alex Coughlin the best in the future. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.